5 seconds. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Wacker in Michigan. There. Hey, you want to say hello? There's Ernie. Hey, Ernie. Say your Chicago Nuggies. So we might see you on Saturday.
Yeah, I'll see you on Saturday.
We'll celebrate there. You're gonna have fireworks at the Navy Pier.
Yeah, with Grammy.
And so here, look at this. Yeah, how you doing here? So Iran's Islamic regime massacres civilians and children. We saw this guy walking down here. So are you going to live stream tonight or not?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Navy Pier and then I'm going to just walk around.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go to North Avenue Beach.
Okay. So Ernie's going to go either to Navy Pier or North Avenue Beach. You're welcome to walk with me. I'm just going to head straight up to Lincoln Park. And so...
I'll walk towards the...
Okay, good. Let's go, yeah. So here, Iran's Islamic regime massacres civilians and children. Thanks. Freedom of speech, First Amendment protest. And see, we got Iran. Mm-hmm. We got... The Ukrainian-Russian war is still going on. There's still weirdness in Palestine and Israel. We got Venezuela.
Venezuela, yeah.
Have you talked to Jose? How's he holding up?
He's happy about it.
He's happy?
Yeah.
Oh, because he didn't like Maduro.
Yeah, he didn't like Maduro.
Now, what's he think about the woman? What's her name?
He hasn't talked to me about it.
Yeah, see, we'll have to talk to Jose. Do you think he sometimes he films the fireworks, but not all the time? Here, let me turn on the comments here. So here's the comments. So here, Sabrina Suburban Garden. Thanks for tuning in there. Mm-hmm. Evan and Thumper, Prince, One Gold Nubian. Hey, how you doing there? Yeah, see, One Gold Nubian. You know One Gold Nubian. Yeah, she says you're her long lost son. Hey, One Gold Nubian. It's Ernie. Hey, there's the one wheel. There's the one. Look, it's going up Michigan Avenue. It's crossing the bridge. So hey, Wacker Drive. Yeah. So
I invited One Golden Nubian to my Discord. I made a Discord.
Good.
For all my chat.
I saw what TikTok Discord's doing weird things too. They're starting to change their terms and conditions, and they want people to upload an ID and all kinds of stuff.
And they start to censor a lot of things.
Yeah. See, it's starting to happen. The golden age of live streaming's over. It's all ruined. But hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Chicago. We're crossing the Chicago River here. I'm with Ernie Chicago Nuggies. And he's eventually going to start streaming and go to Navy Pier, North Avenue Beach. I'm going to just head home here to Lincoln Park. Well, we got 40 degrees.
Yeah, it's like 39.
This has been nice because we've been walking around in the sub-zero.
It's supposed to be like 50 next week.
That's nice. Finally. See, we can start the countdown to St. Patrick's Day. I was down at Chinatown. They're going to do the parade, I think, March 1st or around then. I know Chinese New Year actually starts this month. They had the stuff out in the 88 marketplace.
Do you know what week it's going to start? Or?
Well, I got to look. So look online. Just type Chinese New Year. It'll say when the parade's going to be. And I don't know if they're going to. Somebody else, one of our fellow live streamers, I don't know if it was Steve Lyon or somebody else. They said they were going to check it out in February. But Chris and I are going to go to New Orleans. We're going to take the Amtrak, and that happens next week at this time.
So it's going to be February 17th.
Yeah, February. That's the same day as Mardi Gras. So Ash Wednesday's the 18th. Okay. And that's when Chris and I are going to go to Mardi Gras. So I don't know if they're doing anything. That's a Tuesday night. That's also Mardi Gras, so people will be partying for Mardi Gras. Do they still have that Bourbon Street on the south side? There was like a big bunch of bars down by Beverly. Beverly, yeah. I've been there. I went there in 2005 when the Sox won the World Series. It wasn't for that game, but it was when the playoffs were going on. We went down to the Bourbon Street. I
was telling everybody last night that you're a Chicago native because you've been here longer than alive.
People are serious about it. They're like, I'm sure you run into people. They're like, I'm a Chicago native. I'm like, where you live now? Florida. I'm like, oh, okay, that's great.
But like you, Brian, you were here when the Apple Store wasn't here.
No, none of this was here.
This was all plaza.
And you said that door was open.
Yeah, that door was open.
And you used to be able to just walk right out here, and which was easier to get to the lower level. Hopefully it's still open, but maybe it was just for that day.
Yeah, correct me if I was wrong, but there was no walkway down there.
No. So when I moved, the Riverwalk, none of the Riverwalk was here. Yeah, none of this stuff was here. None of the connection over there. You could just, where O'Brien's was, you could go down in that one little block. And that was it. Yeah. And there was a few ones, but there was nothing by the river.
They started doing that in like 2009, but they didn't complete it until like 16, right?
Yeah.
2016, 17 around there.
Yeah, it's amazing how much stuff has changed since I moved here. Like even skyscrapers and That was built in the early 1990s, but like they added that round thing. They added that.
Yeah.
That wasn't always there. That's where Bob Newhart, he used to work in that building on his TV show, the old 1970s one. And then he had a second show in the 1980s that was set in Vermont.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Navy Pier because I want to check on my buddy Bob Newhart, how he's doing.
Yeah, go out to Bob Newhart. Yeah, you see. Did you know who Bob Newhart was before that?
He was like a TV personality.
Yeah, you probably remember him from. He was on Buddy the Elf movie. He was the elf dad, and he was in that other show about the what was that show called? It had Sheldon in it. It was the bunch of college kids that all lived in the. What was that?
I think I know which one you're talking about, but I don't remember the name of it.
They built the pyramids. Life, math. I can't remember the theme song. Big Bang, the Big Bang show.
Okay.
Yeah, he was on the Big Bang
Theory, right?
Big Bang Theory with. He was an imaginary friend of Sheldon. He was like the Jedi. He was an old Star Wars Jedi. And Bob Newhart. There's only a few episodes. My dad watched that show more than I did, so I found it out. But my dad would watch the reruns because he liked Kelly. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? I'm missing all the comments here because I'm talking with Ernie here. But hey, thanks for tuning in. We're the Big Bang Theory. Thanks for helping out. Hey, here's Michael George Steakhouse. We're on Michigan Avenue. See, they got the Chinese lanterns for Chinese New Year. Yeah. See, that's the best. Like, you'll film the pigeon.
Yeah.
We'll film the squirrels. Things like that. I saw even Nick Koiken was filming the squirrel. It had a big...
no big...
Yeah. He was riding his e-bike. Is Ken's doing okay? Did she got robbed or what happened?
I have no idea.
There's somebody's. But I think it's okay because I saw her. She was fine the next day.
Yeah, she was streaming like a few days ago.
Yeah, good. She always walks across that Roosevelt to get butane.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going there? Yeah. Scott, how you doing? Grim Evil. Hey, Grim Evil. Grim Evil, are you still coming in on Saturday? Message Ernie and I. We'll work it out. We're worried about the fireworks, but we'll figure out something to do. I know your birthday's coming up, so probably see you on Saturday there. But here, what else is going on here?
You know where's a good place to see the fireworks? By the St. Regis. There's like a little balcony, and you could get some good signal there.
Yeah, we could try it from Wacker Drive there. That's it.
Yeah,
you know, there's that place you saw where Nick Koiken's gone up there, where you go up the steps.
Oh yeah.
But they might have it closed off. But we'll figure it out. Yeah, I got one sister. Somebody asked if I got a sister that lives in Texas. We go down there for Christmas. I was down there for Christmas and New Year's. We were down in Houston. My sister lives down there with my brother-in-law and my nephews. But hey, we're Michigan Avenue, the Uggs. Do you know what that's going to be? I don't.
Yeah, they were talking about like it's probably going to be like a fashion store.
Fashion store.
Yeah.
I know. I think one of my good friends and followers here online, he was telling me. Hubert was telling me that he told me what it was, but it was months ago, so I have to ask him again. That used to be the Under Armour.
Yeah.
See, they got it all blocked off.
I used to spend a lot of money at the Nike store.
Yeah, Nike Town.
Yeah.
See, Nike Town's been here since the 90s, I think, or even. I know it was there when the Bulls were in the playoffs, because that was a big thing.
Because yeah, that's where they were selling the Jordans back then.
Yeah. Yeah, your birthday's Saturday, Grim Evil. Good. So you let us know. Let Ernie and I know if you're still coming in the city there. We'll work it out. We were waiting across the street here at Ohio Street, Michigan. We got 40 degrees, single digit Celsius. We got 5:31 in the PM. The Christmas lights are still on.
Oh, there's Christmas decorations at Navy Pier.
Still?
They have
Valentine's Day. Yeah, they put up them arches, those little presents and stuff. Yeah.
They have diamonds with lights.
Diamonds. Okay, good. Yeah, Free Palestine. We saw the guy protesting Iran there. That has something to do with it. Man, Izzy, how you doing here? So this used to be Cloris Mexicanos, now it's the North Face. I was sad to see Cloris Mexicanos go, but hopefully they'll still have a presence on the Riverwalk. They took the La Katrina down. We still got these Chicago stars.
Soon we'll see the tulips.
Yeah. We're all got spring fever. Once we get to March, we get to St. Patrick's Day. See, you'll get to cover St. Patrick's Day.
It's really hard with all the people there.
Oh, it's hard with the signal. I told you, just like I was proud of you guys. You guys stayed out in the cold for so long at New Year's.
Oh yeah.
And you had so many people. But that's what happens. It builds and builds and builds. And as long as you can build up to a countdown, same with the river. It was built. I had 4,000 people, and then I lost my signal because it was just too many people. You know, and
New Year's over at 7,000.
yeah, that's great. That's like Steve Lyon numbers. he goes for so long, you know, and he's good at it. People tune in because he doesn't talk about politics. See, that's see, note to self.
Stop doing that.
I lose half my audience anyway just because I stream in Chicago, and then I lose the other half because I start talking about politics. Yeah, the Under Armour store will become a new Uniqlo. It's going to be Uniqlo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, thanks for the good information there. So here,
Like a fast food
Hubert, Chicago. Hubert, I knew Hubert would know. Hubert, thanks for the good info. So the old Under Armour store will be the Uniqlo. I know you told me that before, Hubert. Hubert told me that. Appreciate it. Hey, everybody, follow Hubert there. He's been following us for years. It's great. So
in May, I'm gonna be a year already doing live streaming.
That's amazing. Wow, that's great. Yeah, I remember when I think we met before, but then I remember the time where you gave me the bracelet.
Yeah, that was like in March.
Yeah, and you were already live streaming then. You're coming. That's when you started.
Yeah, that's when I started. It was like May.
May. That's good. Well, hey, see, you'll start getting the reruns. Well, you're already getting reruns from things you posted before you were live streaming, but yeah, that's why I'm re-editing all the reruns. It's just get to give it a second try with the content. See, look at that stupid statement. People are so glib with their statements. Yeah. So, hey, we're sending them to your house there, Sir Leatherface. We already called the FBI. They're going to show up your door there, Sir Leatherface. You're on a watch list. You don't think it could happen to you? Yeah. You got to fight for your rights. I've never seen so many Americans voluntarily give up their Fourth Amendment and Second Amendment rights. When Kyle Rittenhouse took a gun to a protest, hey, killed 2 people. The president loved him.
American hero.
He's an American hero. Alex Preddy didn't kill anybody. He did, you know. Yeah, he's a terrorist. He's a domestic terrorist. We know how your logic works. Yeah, you can hang out with Pam Bondi there. That's your punishment. I said that. What if eventually? This is speaking facetiously. So, the November midterms, the House changes, the investigation committees switch. They investigate Pam Bondi. She resigns. She ends up going to jail. They put her in the same cell with Ghislaine Maxwell. Imagine that. Yeah. They could talk about the Epstein files all day long. Yeah. It's not funny, but this is what it's come to, you know. This is the... Hey, Peru's tuning in.
Hey, Peru, how's it
going? How you doing there? Hola. Yeah, that's very nice. So here, we're having a Michigan Avenue, Neiman Marcus. I hear Neiman Marcus and Saks Fifth Avenue had to declare bankruptcy.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that beautiful sky. There's the one Chicago Tower with the purple.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. Isn't that amazing how you'll be streaming and you see something, you see the beautiful sunrise.
Is coming up soon.
Oh, the Chicago Hinge, yeah, it's March 21st. Around March 20th, March 21st. So there was still some ice at North Avenue Beach, but there wasn't any ice at Oak Street Beach. Now, yesterday there was ice at Oak Street Beach, but it all must have melted or blew away.
Okay.
Indiana's tuning in. Hey, there you go. Yeah, you're right. Alex Preddy was killed by 2 Hispanic ICE agents. I know, isn't that what I know?
Kind did
hey,
that.
isn't that amazing? Yeah. It just shows you. I tell people I know I'm a white guy, but I have distant indigenous ancestry, and I researched it and I learned more about it. Mm-hmm. Even in the Trail of Tears period, there were Catawba Native Americans that worked with the Americans to turn in the Cherokees. Same thing, because they fought against each other in the Revolutionary War. The Cherokees were with the British, during the Revolutionary War, the Catawba fought with the Americans. They had a bunch of bad blood. And the Catawba, they didn't fear. They were already U.S. citizens because they fought in the Revolutionary War. They were taking revenge on their Cherokee ancient enemies. And they showed the Americans where their villages were for the Trail of Tears. And isn't that amazing? And it shows you competing interests. People think they're doing it for the money, $50,000 signing bonus. They don't get all that money right away. Then you're working for the man. You must really like Trump a lot. One of my good friends, he's Hispanic. His wife's a dreamer. They got divorced. He voted for Trump. She didn't. She's a dreamer. He voted for Trump. They have a kid together. I mean, it's just weird. It's because of the patriarchy. He couldn't vote for Hillary, and he couldn't vote for Kamala because of the patriarchy. And you know, it's so embedded in our cultures. You know.
It's really screwed up what
Yeah.
they did.
But it shows it's very complex. It's not just, you can't stereotype anybody because I get stereotyped all the time. You know, I can blend in and MAGA because people think I'm MAGA, but they don't think, they'll come up and tell me I get mad. They don't understand why I'm getting mad because I have the misfortune of being, I'll first say it this way. I grew up in the frat boy rape culture of the 90s, which was wrong. This is what led to Epstein and stuff. All the movies you see, I've been alone in an elevator with a bunch of other men. They make sexist jokes.
Yeah.
I've been in an elevator with a bunch of other white people. They make racist jokes. They assumed I would laugh because I guess they're comfortable in telling racist jokes around white people. If there was a non-white person in the elevator, they wouldn't tell that joke. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I still get racist comments when I work. You know, when I'm working, a customer or a client comes up to me and they give you that look, like, you know, why is it going to be a Hispanic male? Or,
And that's why a lot of white people don't like it. They're uncomfortable when people speak Spanish or any foreign language, Italian, because they think the people are talking about them or joking. If you speak in Spanish and you point and look at me, oh, he's making fun. And Donald Trump can't stand that.
He can't stand
it. He can't even stand white people doing it, you know. And it's just his ego's so. You would think he's got all the money, he's got all the power, but he's still. He's ego, and he's so thin-skinned. You know, I'm thin-skinned, but I don't have money and power. So I'm just a whiner. Here, Michigan Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. There's the water tower. There's the great water tower with Ernie here. We're just heading up to Lake Michigan. I'll probably go down Oak Street. So you can watch, if you want to see the lake, you can watch Ernie TikTok, and I'll stay here. We'll go down. So Kim Kardashian opened her Skims store at Rush and Oak. Not that I want to promote the Kardashians or luxury brands, but their sign went up, and then you know, Hubert told me about that. I don't buy Skims. I don't know. I'm not. I guess it's like Lululemon. It's like shapewear for women, I guess is what it is.
When you were saying everybody that you went to the Barbie store.
Yeah, the American Girl place. And then Chicago Toxic Donut was saying they supposedly have a American Girl place doll from Pilsen. I'm like, they make an American Girl doll for that she grew up in Pilsen? I didn't know that. Yeah, I couldn't figure out what he was talking about, but I suppose he's worth a lot of money. And that's what they do. But hey, look, there's city is home. At least there's something going on here. And here's the John Hancock, 875 North. So you used to work in this building?
I used to work here.
Ernie used to work in the John Hancock.
No, I work. You already know where I work.
Yeah, good. So here's the Fourth Presbyterian. That's why I would be going this way and you would be going this way. Yeah. Because you'd have
That's why we used to run into each other a lot.
Sometimes it's just easier just to walk from the loop instead of going to the Chicago stop.
Yeah.
I did take the red line last night. There was Chris saw it. There was a nice band there playing in the subway tunnel. But
I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw that.
But before I went live, there was like the police had somebody detained like right at the bottom of the stairs. Mm-hmm. And so when I scanned my Venture card, there was like a guy. He was scared to go down the steps because the people were yelling at the police, and we were like, "Are we going to walk into an ambush?" And I said, "Come with me." And so we both we walked down the stairs, and we had to walk through the police and the guy yelling, and then we made it through. So welcome to the red line.
Oh, I was at Lower Wacker yesterday, and this car was making this loud exhaust.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And people are like, why is he doing that?
Yeah.
Well, that's Lower Wacker. People do drag races down there.
They like the echoes. They like the muffler sounds. People do that. They like to make a bunch of noise. They do. They go to lower Randolph. You'll see the donuts right at Columbus and Randolph. And yeah, here we'll head up this way. Here, I'm missing all the comments here. This is Chicago. This is Chicago, Illinois, United States of America. This is the John Hancock.
I remember when your cousin was like, no hands.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that great? I love that. People like that video because he was dancing, and people watch that and they get vertigo because it's so realistic. And I thank the staff because I went up there.
Yeah, I saw the press pass.
They found me and they heard my voice, and they were so nice. They said, we don't let people film here, but we'll let you film here. I said, thank you, and that's how we were able to get that video. But TikTok, they wouldn't monetize it. They knew it was going to go viral, and they didn't pay me 1 cent. TikTok paid me nothing for that video, and it got hundreds of thousands of views, and it's still getting views.
It's crazy, all the money we made, and it goes to TikTok.
Corporate America. Yeah. Every time people rail about socialism, what about corporate socialism? What about all the tax breaks corporations get? Everybody's precious stock market. Pam Bondi was talking about the stock market. The Epstein victims were behind her. She wouldn't even acknowledge their existence, and she's talking about the stock market instead of the Epstein victims.
Yeah.
What a jerk. There's the 900 North Michigan building, Bloomingdale's.
You went in there with Jose, right?
Yeah, I saw. We went there for the Christmas thing. They did the big Christmas tree countdown. Yeah, Jose was there. And
you saw Jay City walking.
Jay, I didn't know Jay was there, but she got some footage of it, so she must have been down below, or she's good at like sneaking around the crowds. Like like sometimes like she was at like the other things I was at, and I didn't know she was there, you know. And that's great. So here,
go this way, or
I'm gonna cross. I know you're going this way. So,
all right, Brian, I'll
see
see
Ernie.
you.
Hey, Ernesto, Chicago Nights. Hey, watch him on TikTok. We'll see you. We'll probably see you on Saturday. Yeah. So hey, thanks for checking out. I know I missed all the comments there. I was talking with Ernesto, Chicago Nuggies, and you can watch him on TikTok. He's gonna go to the lake. If you want to see Oak Street Beach, don't worry, you won't hurt my feelings. Please watch Ernie. He's been taking a long break from live streaming because they're still grieving for a loss in the family. We were talking about that. And here at the Drake Hotel. And here, this is Walton Street, Chicago, Illinois, United States of America. We got 40 degrees, not too bad, a little wind, single digits Celsius. And we'll head down Oak Street. We'll check out the lights. Yeah, it looks pretty with the lights there. Thanks, Evan, Barbara. Yeah, it's nice to hook up with friends. Ernie, I met Ernie just walking up and down Michigan Avenue. He gave me a bracelet, and he live streams now, which is great. He knows Jennifer You Should Eat. He knows Overtime Seb, Nick Koiken. He knows Ken's, and he knows Jose and Steve Line and all of us, and Alexander Chicago, all the great Chicago live streamers, Nia and Keys Carter, and I'm missing a bunch of other Lux, Chicago Vistas. There's Chicago MP4. There's so many. There's This Gemini on YouTube, and there's Chris Presents. Vic Cohen was the old G, the oldest or the most original Chicago live streamer on TikTok that I remember, and he still posts content there. Vic Cohen, check him out. But here's Oak Street. How you doing? Hey, how you doing? Ed? How you doing? Ed? Thanks for saying hello. That's great. See, he's delivering there. There's your delivery. Here's your Uber Eats there. See, support him, real human instead of the robots. There's still real humans delivering. That's great. I wonder if you could choose that, like when you order something, you say, oh, I want a real human to deliver it instead of a robot. No bias to robots. Yeah, right. They got bias towards humans. Yeah, Chicago's pretty clean. That's the most common, consistent, positive statement we get about Chicago is the clean streets compared to New York, I know. Hey, the Bathing Ape. So we're on Oak Street here, Chicago, Illinois. I know, why am I in this ritzy, expensive, high rent district? I'm heading home from work. We're going past all the Richard Mille, Rosny Jewelers, Geneva Seal, Rolex, all the big brands. Paul Stewart are the luxury brands. Hey, the Esquire Theater's still here. Friends and neighbors. Yeah, Scott James. Big Mosquito. Yeah, thanks for the good comment there. So the time is 5:47 in the PM, Chicago Central Time. Hey, Chanel number 5. Here's the Chanel store. They got a big, huge window here, draws your eye right to it. They stole it from Louis Sullivan. That's the old Krause music store. Did it first. There's the Esquire Theater. I remember seeing movies there. Here's the Montclair. Hey, Le Colonial, this Vietnamese French fusion restaurant here. Very popular. Harry Winston, or used to be popular. I don't know if stuff's popular anymore. I filmed the Lawrence Fisheries. I remember going there years ago and people are like, oh, it's falling off. I'm like, yeah, I'm still happy that this exists. I mean, why has everybody got to poo-poo everything? 90% of the comments are positive, you know, so some people like it, some people don't. It's the way it is. There, Tory Burch, Bravco Beauty. Hey, Bravco Beauty, please check out Bravco Beauty here on Oak Street, Chicago, Illinois. You got all the beauty supplies. Talk to Michael. It's been there for 45 years, a Chicago-owned mom-and-pop business. Bravco Beauty here. Longer than any of this stuff. Marc Jacobs, Prada. So there's the new Skims. It's in this bank building. I guess that's Kardashian's brand, Lafayette, Armani. Oh, I lost my hat. It got caught on the branch there, sorry. Look at that. That caught my hat right there, that thing right there. Okay. UK, how you doing? Puerto Rico, hola, how you doing there? Yeah, Bad Bunny did a great job. I really enjoyed the halftime show. I thought the choreography was great. Even Ricky Martin was okay. Lady Gaga, Green Day. So here's Rush Street. So there's the new Skims and Cartier, Prada. Anyway, there's the There's the Hermes behind us. Here's the Hermes here. Look at this nice view you get to the 900 North Michigan building, Oak Street. So hey, we'll just head up Rush Street. How you doing? And here's Vuori. Finland and Swedish. Finnish and Swedish. Nice. Yeah, I'm walking. This is my commute home from work. Yeah, I'm walking towards Lincoln Park. So usually in the morning we walk to work. Usually at night we walk from work. During the day, like today, we walked along the Riverwalk. Yesterday we went to the auto show. So if you want to check out, oh, her dress was falling down. The mannequin was losing her blouse there. They got to cover the mannequin. Here's Gibson's. Here's Hugo's Frog Bar. Here's Tavern on Rush. Viagra Triangle here, Mariana Park, Bellevue and Rush, Chicago, Illinois, 40 degrees. Bad Bunny, yeah, Tim, Jessica, Christine, good show. Used to live in Old Town, there you go, yeah, it's near here. Right, here's Lux Bar, Pancake House, Thompson Hotel, here's the Bellevue. So the Tavern on Rush used to be here, now it's over there. Hugo's Frog Bar, Gibson Steak. Here we'll head to Mariana Park here. So there's the Bellevue, there's the new Carmine's. Carmine's is back open finally. Remember it was closed for almost 2 years. Go to the second level there, the On Clouds on the bottom. Here's Mariana Park, Chicago, Illinois. How you doing? Yeah. Yeah, you know, I know it must be annoying for somebody to hear some loud live streamers walking around talking all the time. I mean, one time a guy did confront me. We were over by the Cabrini Green, that's still remnants there by the Montgomery Wards. We were on Orleans Street near Mr. Beef, and he didn't like that I was live streaming. He was angry that I captured his image. And I said, I'm not filming you. I said, I'm just walking to work. I might have accidentally caught you. I was talking about something else. and I didn't even notice you were in my frame there, you know. And he had a beef against live streamers, because I understand that. People that don't like, me too, I have the same phobias. People that don't like surveillance society or cameras everywhere. ICE can be watching my live stream now. Police can always be watching my live stream. North Korea and Planetier Technologies, Peter Thiel. We'll say hello to Peter Thiel. The government's watching, Big Brother's watching, we know what's going on. I assume the Chinese were always hacking and stealing our information anyway. Now Oracle and the US government stealing our information. And I understand why people don't like live streamers. I don't even like live streamers, and I'm a live streamer myself. And because, you know, I don't want to be creepy. Another time I was filming, and it's so funny, it always catches you off guard. I was walking to work, it was in the morning. And I was by the basketball courts there in Lincoln Park, and I was zooming into the skyline, and you could go back and look at the video, and there was one woman. This was early in the morning. She was playing basketball, shooting hoops by herself. This is, you know, it was in the summertime. She was probably wearing shorts and a t-shirt. Okay, so she's shooting basketball. I didn't even notice her shooting basketball. I think I said something about it. Maybe I did. I said, oh, there's a woman shooting basketball. Isn't that great? She's got the whole court to herself. A woman off to the side started screaming at me. She goes, you creep, stop filming that woman, you creep. And I guess she thought I was Epstein, because she thought I was zooming in, filming this 20-something-year-old woman shooting basketball, fully clothed, in public. We were in a public park, and so, me being me, I should have just let it go, but I couldn't do it, and I turned into a horrible male asshole. You know, I apologized to all my audience. I walked over to her, and I said, hey, are you yelling at me? I said, I was just filming that skyline. She happened to be, and she ignored me. She treated me like a piece of dirt. She must have assumed I was Epstein, and she took everything she hated about Epstein and put it on me. I understand that. I feel bad. She might have been sexually assaulted. I might be a creep. I didn't understand it. And then she ran into me later. I don't know if even though it's the same one. She confronted me again when I was live streaming. I think she didn't realize I was live streaming. And then when she realized it, she was like, oh, because, and I was like, I'm sorry. Whatever I did to offend you, I'm sorry. You know, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure it out. Does anybody remember that? So here's, but I'm a man, so I deserve. Men treat women badly. I may have treated women badly in the past too. I went through college. I had horrible role models like frat boys and stuff. I apologize for anything I may have done. I'm a horrible heterosexual man. I know we all deserve to be castrated and shunned and kicked off the island. I understand that. You know, I don't. You know, if you want to feel better, I don't have a significant other for Valentine's Day, so I am punished. I am punished by humanity, so I deserve that. I deserve to be alone the rest of my life. Take that, J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance wants me to get married and keep a woman barefoot and pregnant like my grandfather did. My poor grandmother had 13 kids. 13 kids, she actually had 14. None of them twins, all with the same man. Obviously, it was before birth control. Here's Bush McGuire's, Chicago, Illinois. Here's Mother's. Oh, Mother's. There it is. Sweet Greens is a restaurant. I think it's some sort of restaurant. You can look it up. I think it's a chain. And here we'll just head up Dearborn Street. Yeah, thanks, Jessica. Thanks for the good information. Yeah, I understand that, Wes. You're right. That's a good deal. Unfortunately, toxic masculinity has given women a good reason to suspect. And I acknowledge that. I don't have the best temperament. I have anger issues. Imagine dating somebody like me that gets emotional. And it's scary when men get angry. And my dad got angry. My grandfathers got angry. One of my grandfathers used to abuse, physically intimidate the family. No one wanted to get him mad because he would slap you across the face. And that's historically, that's how it's scary that's how women were always subject to male violence, even in their own homes. And hopefully we're trying to overcome that. And I still have a lot of work to do on myself. Thanks for understanding. I know I have anger management issues. I've said things I regret to my mods. You know, I'm working on it here. So Glasgow, how you doing there, Scotland? Keep an eye out. Nah, Scott. Yeah, it's a restaurant. So if you just joined, we're in the Gold Coast. We're on Dearborn Street. There's the Kabod House. That's the Jewish Center of Learning here. There's where Ernest Hemingway in his first life, Hadley Richardson, lived on the top there. If you don't believe me, look at this. Ernest Hemingway lived here at 1239 North Dearborn Parkway. We've been inside that house. We went inside it on the Dearborn Garden Walk. They got a bunch of dioramas. But here's the Gold Coast, Chicago. This beautiful brownstones and gray stones and condo buildings. Very expensive area of the city, I know. I'm walking through this on my way home from work. Chicago, Illinois, United States. We got 5:58 in the p.m. and we got about 40 degrees, not too bad, Fahrenheit. Hemingway. Yeah. Lady T. Bonnie, Scotland, yeah. No, this is the amazing Chicago. So if you thought this was New York, do you like it less that it's now Chicago? We're the second city. We're the third or fourth city. Mario Stefani Way. We used to be the second city. Now we're the third coast. Here's the bike coming through here. How you doing? So there's the RH Furniture. There used to be the Three Arts Club. We go by it all the time. Dearborn Street at Goethe. Hey, Chicago. Hey, thanks for the plug there. Big Mosquito. Appreciate it. Saves you a trip. Yeah, see, you don't have to come here. I'm not trying to convince people to spend a dime in Chicago. Stay where you're at. You don't have to move here, visit here, do anything here. Just watch my live stream. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a like there. It's free. It taps the screen. Thanks for tuning in here. Yeah. Yeah, learn something new. That's great. I do too. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thanks, Wes. Nice place. Kevin Gates lyrics. Yeah, testosterone sucks. I know. You know, it's positive and negatives to everything. There's positive and negatives to being a woman. There's positive and negatives to being a man. There's positive and negatives to being LGBTQ. There's positive and negatives to being trans. As Woody Allen used to say, and he's a horrible, I know he has sexual assault problems with him. He's probably a bad person to quote, but he said, if you're bisexual, it doubles your chance of having a date on Friday night. And I know trans people aren't bisexual, but you know what I mean. You got more options. It's good to have options. So here we'll head up Dearborn Street. Gold Coast. Yeah. You get too confused? Yeah, it happens. Yeah, there's not too many people in the Gold Coast. There are some homeless people in Lincoln Park. We passed some this morning. They've been consistently staying in those tunnels even when we had the negative temperatures. They got a lot of blankets and stuff. We filmed some. Not that I'm going out of my way to do this. Why do people? Why, you know what you expect? You expect since I'm in Chicago that there must be homeless people and drug addicts all around and people shooting me. And since I'm in the Gold Coast, Chicago, people get all confused and they're like, "This isn't the real Chicago," even though people do get murdered here, and people got murdered in Lincoln Park too. And everybody says I'm gonna get shot no matter where I'm at in the city. So how good could it be? But yeah, there were some homeless people underneath Lower Wacker this morning. We saw it on the way to the Bean. You know, big bad. There is homelessness here. There's crime here. There's people fighting with the police. There's ICE here. All the things you expect. It's just not right here where I'm at right now. I'm walking home from work. I know you want to see the cop show. You want to be cops and robbers with the police scanner like I'm Duran chasing some ambulance. You know. But this is the boring Gold Coast, and I'm the boring Brian Really Chicago. There's other... Alexander Chicago sometimes does the police scanner. He drives around. There's a guy in Cincinnati that does the police scanner. Our old friend Danny, he would call him he called them stringers. Like he said Duran's really a stringer, which means Duran sells his content to the media. So not only does Duran make money from his social media popularity, he makes money by selling his content that he films on his one wheel to the LA TV stations. And they all know who he is. And the police know he is too. The police know who Major Hustler is. Major Hustler has covered fires and people getting rescued under the piers there in Seattle. And sometimes your footage makes the news because you're on the spot faster than the news media because we're always walking around. And so in a way, we're the new media. Ernie's the new media. I'm the new media. We show you exactly in real time what's happening on the street. No filters, no commercials, no media bias. You just got the bias of me, Brian Really Chicago, and I'm biased. I'm a bigot for the left. I'm like Meathead fighting with Archie Bunker every day. Who remembers All in the Family? I'm a big Meathead. Yeah. Well, good luck with your job search. Yeah, I know it's getting harder. I know they keep coming out with the jobs numbers saying all the jobs market's strong. I don't think the jobs market's as strong as the economic numbers are saying. But people are sensing that. And my theory is, eventually there'll be a new administration. Eventually, it could be Republican, it could be Democrat, it could be social. It could even be Democratic socialist, like somebody like Bernie Sanders, but not him because he's too old. Eventually there'll be a new administration. Eventually there's a chance that corporate taxes may go up because if there's ever an economic downturn or, revenue or the tariffs don't pay out the way that they think they are, that they'll need to get new revenue. And if taxes on corporations eventually go up, stock market will go down. And so I don't know what to tell people. I just learn how to play volatility. That's what I've been telling myself. Here's Dearborn Street, Gold Coast, Chicago. Here, 1506, 1507. Majestic multi-unit building and parcel. So they're redoing this. There, Compass, Jeff Lowe. Hey, look at these beautiful brownstones here, Dearborn Street, Gold Coast, Chicago. I know. We're talking to Ernie. We're counting down to the November midterms. That's 9 months away. That's a full pregnancy away. A lot can happen in 9 months. I don't know if we can make it through the summer. But hang on. And that doesn't mean the administration's over. That just means potentially the House of Representatives flips to the Democrats and all the committees, and then there'll be a lot of investigations that aren't happening now. But Trump will still be president, as far as we can tell. We're stuck with him. Isn't this great? Wow. You always know you got a presidential tweet every day. Make you feel embarrassed to live in the country. Yeah, good luck with the job search there. England, hey, that's good. Thanks for checking out the, yeah, we copied all this from Europe. After the Great Chicago Fire, architects flocked to Chicago like Louis Sullivan, Frank Lloyd Wright, Burnham and Root, Halliburton Root, and Roche. They created all these, William Sumner Frost, Ives and Cobb, William LeBaron Jenney. They created all these European Renaissance revival styles. They would go to Europe on the Grand Tour. They go to the L'École Beaux-Arts there in France, and they would learn how to build these French and European style Italianate chateaus. And all the new money in Chicago made a bunch of money off the railroads and the stockyards and the factories and the real estate development of Chicago. They put their money into the housing. And they said, hey, we made it. We're going to show you we made it. We built this beautiful house for everybody to see our taste and wealth. That's how we get the Gold Coast. That's how we get Kenwood on the south side. There's actually larger lots and bigger houses in Kenwood on the south side than there is in the Gold Coast on the north side. And that neighborhood's largely 66% African American by demographics, wealthy African American, like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air wealthy. And here's Dearborn Street. Because despite what you think about Chicago, Chicago has one of the strongest black communities and concentrations of black wealth in the nation. And Michelle Obama and the Obamas were part of that, and that's what angers Atlanta too. Atlanta probably rivals Chicago and New York with the wealth of black Americans that live in a major American city. You can go to Peachtree Street in the United States, and it's good for every white American to experience this. You feel like a minority in downtown Atlanta, and you should feel that so you know what it feels like to be in a minority, so you get empathy for other minorities where people get all scared. Oh, I'm outnumbered. Get over it. Come on. We filmed the Bud Billiken Parade. I was the only white, long-haired, red-haired guy for miles. I had a great time. People cooking out, grilling out. I didn't feel unsafe once. Everybody in the comments, be careful, Brian, be careful. Be careful, you're in Bronzeville. I'm like, there's 1 million people down here. This is the largest black parade in the world. This is the best time to go down there. You got critical mass. You know, if something happens, a bunch of people will help you out. You know, it just shows you a lot of racism is fear. It's just people are afraid because they assume what they want to do to you, they assume that's what you want to do to them. They assume everybody's as racist as they are, is what it is, which is not the case. But we're learning a lot about America. And as much as we think we've overcome, we always got to go through these 2 steps forwards, 1 step back, or 2 steps forwards and 3 steps back. But here we're in Lincoln Park. Here's the Lincoln statue. There's the standing Lincoln in Lincoln Park. Yeah. So if Obama was a crook, so is Trump. It's easy to hand out speeding tickets in the Indy 500. Yes, there was corruption in the Obama administration. There was corruption in the first Trump administration. There was corruption in the Biden administration, of course. Duh, Hunter Biden. And there's corruption, massive corruption now in the current Trump administration. Both parties excuse their own party's corruption. We overlook this plank in our own eye, and there, you know, or the speck in our friend's eye, and there's a plank in our eye. To quote Jesus Christ in the Beatitudes. Here's some people camping out under the bridge here. So I'll go quiet out of respect for the people sleeping outside tonight. And I hope you're not getting off, jerking off, looking to homeless people. I don't understand why people always ask where the homeless people are. Here they are. Eat your heart out. Have some empathy, and I should give these people some money. Here's LaSalle Street, Chicago, Illinois. We got 40 degrees. We're February the 11th, 2026. So hey, Lincoln Park, people jogging in the park. We got 40 degrees in Chicago, Illinois. So I'll head over towards Clark Street because there's not much to see here. It's all dark and creepy in the park. So snow's melting, people are jogging. Yeah, at least it's dry. Yeah, there was certainly corruption in the Washington administration. The first 5 founding fathers all owned slaves. Well, no, I take that back. John Adams did not own slaves, enslaved people. But George Washington, Thomas Jefferson had a child with his teenage enslaved member of his household there, and there's Sally Hemings. There's a whole line from Jefferson, mixed race, sired from his, I'll say, incestuous relationship with his enslaved person there. Sally Hemings, and I'm very fascinated with this because I have Melungeon heritage, and which goes to Appalachia, and fortunately mine touches the Cherokees, but not everybody. Yeah, everybody this Melungeon thinks they're Cherokee. They're not. It's not always the case, and I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else. I'm just proud of that. But anyway, because it goes back to the Indian trader period. And I knew I had Indian, Native American, and indigenous Indian trader ancestry. But Sally Hemings' descendants, once you got to the great-great-grandson of Sally Hemings, he passed as a white man. He changed his last name from Hemings to Jefferson, Thomas Jefferson, after his true last name should have been Jefferson, and he moved to Wisconsin. He moved from some other area of the country to Wisconsin, and people accepted him as a white man. But the area he lived in, like Virginia or something before that, they did not accept him as a white man. So he moved to Wisconsin, assumed a passing as a white identity, and everybody accepted him as a white person. Isn't that amazing? And he was a mixed race descendant from an enslaved person of Thomas Jefferson. You can look it up. And I've researched this. That's amazing. And it shows you not everybody that passed as white did it because they wanted to. It was a survival tactic in the Jim Crow South. And the Melungeons were part of that too. And some of the Melungeons, even though they were mixed race, were racist themselves. They thought they were better, like Creoles in Louisiana would be accused of this. They said, oh, you think you're better than us because you live in a mansion and you speak French. You know, you're still, you know, mixed. And the French Creoles were very wealthy. Some of them were very wealthy and sophisticated. And some of the mixed race Creoles in antebellum New Orleans owned enslaved people themselves. And some Native Americans owned enslaved people like the mixed blood Cherokees, including some of my ancestors. And it's just, the world was a very violent and brutal place. Go back to the Roman times. People were crucified in the street, hanging from a pole. You go out, you had to walk, there'd be somebody crucified down every public executions in the Middle Ages. We had public executions in the 1930s in Jim Crow South. People would bring their kids. It was horrible. So we have a lot of baggage in this country we got to overcome. We're still overcoming. We'll forever be overcoming this. The sins of the past are the sins of now. And same as it ever was. But things are better. Fortunately, things are better than they used to be. As much as you feel repressed now, things are much better now than they used to be. And we'll continue to work on these things. I know, what is this guy talking about? I'm missing all the comments here. Yeah, dirty streets. Yeah, the Germans thought they were better too. I know. That's why I reposted. There was a woman from Germany, modern day German, that she said, we had to take classes about how Germany could slip back into fascism and how to tell the signs. She said, we see in Germany, you're slipping into fascism. We were afraid it was going to happen in Germany. And Germany has neo-Nazi parties in Germany too. J.D. Vance seems to like them a lot. Oh, did I say that? Here's a 73 bus. So hey, Lincoln Hotel. What would Honest Abe say? What would Honest Abe say about all this? Say, I made it to the end of the Civil War and then they killed me. Made it all the way through the Civil War, and the last casualty of the Civil War was the president. Yeah, real change. Hope and change. Yeah, you see what I'm saying, Albert? Yeah, you smell what I'm cooking? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I think that's the tragedy. I saw that comment where we did not. I'm thinking about that too. Like, now I'm biased because since I was living in Chicago the whole time that Barack Obama was president, you know, Obama doesn't bother me as much as the other presidents, but I'm a you know, that's how liberal I am. But yeah, George Bush II, in hindsight, wasn't as hot a good a leader as we thought. He was good at some things. The Iraq War was horrible, and the economy tanked on his watch. The housing crisis, and Obama wasn't perfect, you know, but I was not a fan of Trump's first term, even though the stock market was strong and the economy was okay until COVID hit. People forget. People are like, we hated wearing the mask. Well, it started under the first Trump administration, 2020, that whole year Trump was president. Trump administration said, wear the mask. They said, and they have all this weird information about ivermectin and making people question the vaccine. And I'll be really harsh on Biden. I still have a lot of anger towards Biden. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm on the left. I'm further left than most Democrats. Biden, in hindsight, I fault the Democratic Party in 2020 for not having a real primary and forcing Biden upon the rest of us because they said, oh, the only guy that could beat Trump is another old white guy. So we got another old white guy, Biden. And yes, you know, I'm glad, you know, he served under President Obama as the vice president. He is a good guy. Personally, Biden's a good guy. I could have a beer with him. Okay, great. But he had flaws too. He had an ego. He couldn't give it up. It was horrible, the debate. And then he you know, he was getting too old. Here's the Coco. The Coco's just sitting there. There's one of the self-driving robotic replacements. There's Hotel Lincoln. So yeah, Biden, and I don't think Trump's hot at all. I think I don't see inflation coming down. I think Trump just throws so much flack up in the air, and I think he's personally enriching himself off the office. People almost expect him to. He's suing the American people for $10 billion. He doesn't need the money. He's doing it just for ego and revenge. He said he'll donate to charity. Why? He could donate $10 billion to charity now. He won't do it. He's never donated his own money to charity. What? This is stupid. Who believes this crap? Anyway, enough about this. So hey, welcome to Lincoln Park. Welcome to Clark Street. Heading home from work. I lost all my audience. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, hopefully you're watching Ernesto Chicago Nuggies. He's on TikTok there. We saw him up Michigan Avenue. And I still got to cut out more footage from the Chicago Auto Show. So we'll work on that. Coco, you see Coco? Yeah, Western democracies are married to money. That's my biggest beef. Both the left and the right, Democrats and Republicans, are beholden to corporate interests. Corporations own the government. It's so blatantly obvious when Elon Musk can just waltz in there and act like he owns the government, bought the election. Everybody knows he bought the election, and we can't do anything about it. I've talked to conservative business leaders. They're like, yeah, this is the way the world works. You got to grease some palms. They accept. They know how to operate in this world. Trump knows how to operate in this world. That's why he did the tariffs, because it's a big one-on-one bilateral negotiations. He loves that because he can threaten and you know, like what he's doing he tried to do with Greenland, he tried to do it with NATO, Venezuela, all the same stuff, steal the oil. But hey May, how you doing there? Hey, thanks for tuning in. That's fine. Yeah, hopefully President Trump has donated money to charity on the behalf of other people. He bundles a bunch of other people's money, throws in a little bit of his money, and say, hey, look at all this money I gave. And it was bundled with a bunch of other people's money. So, yeah, the great benevolent billionaire. Elon Musk could do with $1 billion less, he wouldn't even notice it. But he would have to sell some stock. He's not going to do that. His all his wealth is tied up in the value of the stocks, and he could borrow money against that really advantage, nice interest rates. Yeah, it's sad to watch the downfall, and that's the most dangerous, is that the longer this goes and the more his popularity drops, and the longer it goes and the more despondent and bitter he gets, he's going to become more irrational and dangerous. And who watched the Pam Bondi hearing today? Who wants to sit through every day being like that? bunch of grown adults yelling at each other, and the victims are sitting there silent, and they're ignoring, acting like they're not even in the room, talking about the stock market instead of the victims. How does that play? You know? Is anybody in the chat like Pam Bondi? Is anybody willing to vouch for Pam Bondi is helping America? I want your name with your comment there. Aisha, how you doing there? Yeah, the cycle keeps going. It's the cycle. But hey, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre is coming up. Hey, we'll give you a sneak preview. We'll go past the St. Valentine's Day Massacre site here in Chicago. I'll show you where Bugs Moran lived, and then we'll walk over there. How you doing? There's the we're Lincoln Park West. There's the Lincoln Park Cultural Center. I had to wait to see the sign. I was going to call it something else. But here, look at this nice housing, Lincoln Park West. We're north of Armitage. We went past the Chicago Academy of Sciences. That's where those lines were. Hey, look at the that's the Sears Tower. Hey, red and blue Sears Tower. You know why that is? Lincoln's birthday's tomorrow. Tomorrow is February the 12th, Abraham Lincoln's birthday. So we're gonna have to go by the Lincoln mural on the side of the Lincoln Hotel. We'll hit Lincoln Avenue. We'll hit the Lincoln statue. We can do all the Lincoln stuff on Lincoln. Has anybody got off of work tomorrow? Who gets off? Who works for the state of Illinois? Somebody's got to get off Lincoln's birthday. I guess President's Day's coming up. Yeah, Bondi, no credibility. Thanks, John. Heartbreak Hotel. Yeah, time no more. So, Lincoln Park West and Dickens, Richard Mellman Place. Richard Mellman. Here's so this is where Bugs Moran used to live. This used to be a luxury hotel back in the 1920s. And you see those windows at the bottom. Jennifer You Should Eat talks about how they used to be a restaurant there in the 20s, the Roaring 20s. You imagine like the jazz age bands and flappers like the Great Gatsby. And Bugs Moran lived up there in February the 14th, 1929. Well, what happened before that was, where do you begin? John Torrio moved to Chicago. He was part of the New York Syndicate sometime after World War I. And the New York Five Families were opening branches in Chicago and other places, Atlantic City, and who knows where else. And Las Vegas wasn't even much of a town by then. And that was later. That was casino. But there's where Larry and Balky lived. There, we're at Dickens and Clark Street, Chicago, Illinois. So here, let's cross the street so we can do the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. So John Torrio moved to Chicago. Eventually Al Capone moved from Brooklyn, from New York. He moved to Chicago because Chicago was growing really fast. Till then it was the second largest city in the United States. And it was, Prohibition just started. And so Chicago was a boom town for bootleggers and for the organized crime, because since they amended the Constitution to make alcohol legal in the United States, it created a huge black market for those willing to take the risk and fight with the cops. And so that was the organized crime. And so organized crime became very powerful and very wealthy in Chicago as a result of a law passed in Congress. And it greatly impacted Chicago. For almost a decade, Chicago was subject to gun violence all over the city, south, north. The north side was actually the most dangerous side of the city in the 1920s. Most of the most infamous murders and Prohibition era gun violence happened on the north side. And that's why I get to go by all these sites. It's different now. The north side is perceived as the wealthier side of Chicago, which is kind of a correct stereotype. And so right here, we're getting close. So right across the street is the 2121 North Clark Street. This is the Chicago Pizza and Oven Grinder, a Chicago-style pizza place. It's very unique. Here's the Ricardo's. The Ricardo's is there. Ricardo's is there. You see the address is here. This is 2118 North Clark Street, Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. Look at this wonderful artwork. 2120. 2122, there used to be a warehouse here. This is the site of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre in Chicago. Happened nearly 100 years ago, February the 14th, 1929. We're February the 11th. We'll do this on Valentine's Day, but unfortunately, it's 4 members of Al Capone's gang murdered 7 members of Bugs Moran's gang here, and well, 6 with the mechanic. The mechanic made the 7. The mechanic had a dog called Highball. The dog Highball survived, but what happened was on that morning, 2 plainclothes men in trench coats, and I don't know if they were already dressed as police officers. They exited a vehicle here on Clark Street, Chicago, Illinois. They went in here. They were supposed to discuss a illegal hatch of hooch liquor from Detroit, probably from the Purple Gang. And they went in there. If you watch Some Like It Hot, the movie with Marilyn Monroe and John Lemon, or John, is that his name? Not Don Lemon, John Lemon. It's a black and white movie, came out in the 50s. They kind of recreated where it was a garage, a warehouse, and the mechanic was there, and they lined him up against the wall. They thought it was going to be a police shakedown because they saw the mobsters dressed as police officers, but they weren't. And they had 2 Tommy guns, 70 rounds. People across the street heard it. People listening to the telephone wires. Telephone operators heard the on the telephone. They knew what line it was. And Bugs Moran wasn't killed. He was supposed to be here. He saw what he thought was a police car. He went around back. He didn't go inside. And he lived right over there. So I don't know if he just went back to his house or went somewhere else. This was Al Capone's attempt to assassinate Bugs Moran. It failed, but they killed 7 members of his gang. It became known as the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, one of the most notorious Chicago-era Prohibition violent events that ever happened. And been recreated many movies. If you watch Home Alone, when that black and white, he says, "You filthy 50 angels of 50 filthy souls." That was from one of those movies that recreated it, where you got the Tommy gun and lines up. You go to the Mob Museum in Las Vegas. They got the bricks. They got the bullet holes in it. It was in a Canadian's private collection for a while, but now you go to the Mob Museum in Las Vegas. But this is the site of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. You see that's the roof ridge line of the warehouse. They tore this down in 1968 to build this. This is senior living housing in Chicago, Clark Street, St. Valentine's Day Massacre. We'll do it again. I'll do a better job of it. I'll research it more, and we'll do it on Valentine's Day here, February the 14th coming up here. Hey, thanks everybody. Thanks for listening to the spiel. Don Lemon. Yeah, so, yeah, they were... who was the guy that was in Old Grumpy Men? That guy, Jack Lemmon. Jack Lemmon was in Some Like It Hot with Marilyn Monroe and that other guy, and they dressed up like women because what happened was they witnessed the murder and they were going to kill them, and so they had to get out of Chicago, and they hopped a train and they got a job in a women's band, so they had to dress up like women, and that's how they met Marilyn Monroe. But when they get to Miami, Florida, Al Capone, and that's how the real Al Capone used that as an alibi. He was in Miami, Florida, or Miami Beach at his beach house. And so when they go to Miami, thinking they're going to get out of Chicago, Al Capone's down there and sees them at the hotel, and but they're dressed as women, so he doesn't recognize them, and they have to hide from him because they're trying to find him. That's the Some Like It Hot. But St. Valentine's Day Massacre, it was more in the public consciousness of generations before us. I know people in Chicago, they're like, why do you talk about this gangland stuff that happened 100 years ago? Why don't you talk about the gangland stuff that happened last week? I know. And, which, you know, that's why people ask to go to O-Block, King Von, Chief Keef. Well, Chief Keef's still alive. Odie Perry, and cycle continues in different ways. Here's Lincoln Park. See, here's where we're at. Here's where the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Fullerton. She's been between Dickens and Webster on Clark Street. This is North Avenue. Downtown's this way. North's that way. Lincoln Park, St. Valentine's Day Massacre. There, we're across the street here. Highball. Yeah, Highball. Yeah, the dog Highball survived. Highball still haunts. People tell stories like they've let their dogs out to urinate there, and the dogs will not pee on the wall. Like the dogs sense that something's there. People have seen like faces in that tree. They think some of the men are like in the tree, like the faces. Hey, look at this restaurant here. Bar Esme. Hey, we're in Lincoln Park, Chicago, Illinois, Clark Street. Thanks for listening to St. Valentine's Day Massacre spiel. Hopefully that was okay. I know I talk fast. It's hard for people to understand my mush mouth when I talk so fast, especially in different languages. But I got a lot to say. Us guys in Chicago, we talk quick. We talk like gangsters. Say. These, that, and those. Them guys. So here we'll head up Clark Street, and here the O'Berry. Hey, people eating ice cream. Hey, we went to that 88 Marketplace. They got that. What is it called? It's the ice cream that looks like fruit. I guess this has gone viral, right? The ice cream that looks like little apricots and oranges and I don't know, plums and stuff. And they said it tastes like the fruit, but it's ice cream. And it's got the color, and you got these little buckets of ice cream fruit. Viral fruit ice cream. Yeah, one gold Nubian. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. They showed me that right away. They're like, this is the best thing we get. I said, yeah, that's nice. They got a bunch of stuff for Chinese New Year. What's up? So I grew up in Indiana, but now I live in Chicago. I moved here in 1999, so I've been here for 27 years. This is my 27th winter in Chicago, so we're going to... here, look at the stoops here. You got the stoops here on Clark Street. Yeah, racketeering, that's what they got Al Capone on tax evasion. They tried to get him on racketeering, but it was easier to get him on tax evasion. And that was Elliot Ness, and that you can watch the Untouchable movies. It shows you. That kind of went down. Of course, they took theatrical licenses with some of the stuff. Sean Connery's character, but Elliot Ness was a real person. The Chicago Police Department at that time was so corrupted. Here's by money. What corrupted everything? Money. There's more money, made it more lucrative. Here's the crime does pay. Here's Belden and Clark Street, Chicago, Illinois. There's this William Sumner Frost building, the Cobden, Ives Cobb. He worked for Ives Cobb, William Sumner Frost. Illinois, yeah, Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. Here, we'll show you the Reby Moving and Storage. It's got this nice historic building, Holtzman Jewelers. Yeah, it's in the side of the Cobden building here. Look at that. Local apartments. Yeah, tea time. Grandma's Corner, Margie. Hopefully I didn't offend him. Maybe I offended him with my speech. I do. People have to take breaks. I don't expect them to watch all the time. You know, maybe they're watching the other Chicago live streamers, and that's fine. You need to take a break from my banter. We're all not married. You don't have to. Nobody's obligated to tune in every day. You know, but I appreciate everybody that does. Here's the Reby Moving Storage here. Look at that Egyptian revival. How you doing? I'm just filming the architecture here. Look at the nice. Yeah, look at that. I think that's Kingsley was the architect. They built this in like 1921, and it's still used as Reby Moving and Storage. They got storage on one side. I think they got a desk there, and it's just south of Fullerton, between Belden and Fullerton, Clark Street. We walk by it all the time. Hey, there's those Broncos. We took that the Bronco had the test track. We took the Jeep Rubicon. The guys that my friends that I was riding with in the Jeep there. We got to the end. They said the guy driving says, "You got any questions?" He goes, "Yeah, I got a Jeep Cherokee." He goes, "Can it do the same thing?" And we all busted out laughing. And he goes, "No, probably not." Jeep Cherokee. Anatolia. I think the I think the Katua band of the Cherokee Nation should get a free dividend from Jeep. Every Jeep Cherokee they sell, they should give the descendants of the Cherokee Nation a dividend there for using their name on a car. Like the Apache, what else? The Apache's a car. What else is it? Tribal name on a vehicle. Here's the pickleball. Come to Lincoln Park and play pickleball. Yeah, all the white people playing pickleball. This is great. I'm a white guy too. So, hey, have a great rest of your day here. Here's Clark and Fullerton. We'll see you tomorrow, 6:30 to 8. At least that's the plan. And thanks to the mods. Thanks everybody. Thanks for the gifts, likes, and follows. We'll see you tomorrow. Check out all the other Chicago live streamers. Thanks for talking with Ernie there. And we'll see you. We'll see you soon there. Hopi. Yeah, Hopi. Okay, we'll see you later. Have a great night. Okay, we'll talk to you later.